Good evening. We'll call this meeting to order at this time. Do a roll call. Nancy? Here. Eleanor? Present. Mike?
Here.
Stacy? Present. Thank you all are present. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There's a public report of action taken in closed session, ID expulsion of student code 35146-48918. One case, the board voted 5-0 to approve stipulated expulsion for student number 1021730 for 1 calendar year, 4/17/24 through 4/17/25. Student will be eligible to return to school on 4/18/25. Couple reminder of norms of behavior. Use respectful language, be respectful to all speakers, do not cause disruptions, adhere to time limits, please. Just be aware too that we have public video and photography section is located in the back corner of this room. We have marked it with a sign. Anyone who would like to record can do so from there or from their own seat. We ask that you please do not come up to the podium to record a speaker. At this point, before we move to the best part of the meeting, we will move forward to student representatives. We will start with Bella Moreno from Surfside. Bella?
Yeah, Bella changed her look tonight and thought the board meeting was at 6, so here we are. That's okay. My name is Eric Rance and I am the proud principal of Surfside and of Bella Moreno, our normal board speaker who doesn't have this job. So I'm going to stand in. Good evening, Board President Alvarez, members of the board, and Superintendent Dr. Vitale. I am Eric Franson of Bella Moreno, and as of this month, Bella is a proud graduate of Surfside. She's graduating actually a year early, and she's planning on attending Maricosta College and becoming a special education teacher. So congratulations on our March Rising Star. Next slide, please. Thank you. She attributes her success, this is N, she attributes her success to the caring and supportive environment here at Surfside, or as she likes to call it, her PR team, and especially would like to thank Ms. Famia. What if we could help every student identify their right career or college path before they graduate? Paxton Patterson Labs provides a way for students to discover their interests so they can take powerful, purposeful next steps. Students are exposed to a wide range of careers with hands-on experiences and real-world technology. Here at Surfside, we've adopted this curriculum and put it into action. Students will explore physical therapy, dental, medical imaging, plumbing, electrical, and more. We're so excited to have these labs on campus for our students and help them get career ready. We celebrated our most recent Surfside graduates as they walked the corridor, received a sharp diploma, and rang that bell. There were shouts of joy and many tears shed as elementary students gave a heartwarming rendition of Alan Walker's song, Unity. Students toured Maricosta College and saw the Maker Lab, Automotive Department, and the Botany Department. The impressive new library at Palomar College, along with their nursing, dental, and trade centers, gave our students a lot to think about. And finally, our CTE-sponsored trip to the Palomar Institute of Biopsychology. Our Surfside elementary students have been engaged in live-action biodiversity lessons. Students are currently learning about self-sustaining ecosystems, including the life cycles of frogs, eagles, Japanese ricefish, and snails. They also enjoyed Surfside's annual egg hunt arranged by our wonderful Surfside counselors, Mr. Gomez and Ms. Wynn. To recognize all the incredible work that our Surfside staff does, we have decided to start monthly awards. These awards represent the core values at Surfside that lead us towards our vision and mission and include leadership, creativity, collaboration, excellence, and a few others. And here are the first 6 recipients. Congratulations also to Donald Vivian, who received the Staff Employee of the Year Award from Oceanside Unified School District. What is this big cell phone? That's a question we're getting a lot here at Surfside. Thank you to our wonderful OUSD CTE department. All 3 high schools received an EvoRoll, a mobile digital device to help students stay informed. A great learning tool and a big hit with staff and students alike. And April 27th, save the date. In an effort to support our newly created ASB, we are holding our 2nd annual Surfside Spring Social Fundraiser at the Oceanside Moose Lodge. Proceeds will support school activities, clubs, and events. There's 2 live bands, food, and a big giant silent raffle. These are some of the wonderful sponsors who have already donated to our silent auction, including the Seabird Resort, the Marriott, Horizon Charter Sport Fishing, Oceanside Fire Department, and many, many more. Thank you to our sponsors, and thank you all for listening. Have a great evening.
We will now call forward Araceli Norino Chavez from El Camino High School.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to Board President Mrs. Alvarez and the rest of the board members, to Superintendent Dr. Vitale and her executive staff, and all who are present this evening for giving me the time to speak. My name is Araceli Norino Chavez, and I'm the student representative for El Camino High School. Our class of 24 news, 2 of our seniors, Kaylee and Lainey, received scholarships a few weeks ago from the Elk Lodge. Kaylee was awarded $2,500 and Lainey received a $5,000 award. Many of our seniors will be recognized on our Senior Awards Night on May 30th. Thank you to Mrs. Pieri and the Gear Up tutors for helping our students through their challenging FAFSA progress. Our OUSD March Professional Development Day, Wildcat staff came together to focus on analyzing data to inform instruction as well as learning objectives and exit tickets. Our ECHS Drama Department team recently performed Seussical the Musical, which went on from March 21st through the 30th. Congratulations to our Wildcats for this outstanding performance. Our ASB created a fun and inclusive street soccer intramural tournament. The final 2 teams went head-to-head in the gym for an exciting game. For athletics, we have our track and field athletes who participated in the Torrey Pines Falcon Relays, the Sun Devil Invitational, and the Jaguar Invitational. Our Wildcats keep on supporting our girls softball team as well through their season. There we go. Thank you. This concludes our presentation for tonight. Thank you for your time and attention. Have a great evening.
We will now welcome Sayeli Verdugo and Caitlin Barnett from Oceanside High School.
Good evening, Superintendent, Dr. Vitale, President Alvarez, and other board members. My name is Isaiah McKellar, newly elected ASB Vice President at Oceanside. I'm here with Corey Lackley to represent OHS. First, we have a few marching events. We have Staff Professional Development Day, Spring Sports and Pep Rally, OHS New Pirate Day, and Night.
So far in April, we've had our OHS soccer banquet along with our recognition award ceremonies.
Next, we have our up-and-coming robotics team with the Wild Raccoons who competed at UCSD, finishing their qualifying matches and then being selected for the finals in Houston, which are happening right now. This is our FAFSA slide. Our OHS counselors, gear up, and senior teachers are all helping to support seniors and complete the FAFSA.
Our March OHS Rising Star is Brooke Thompson. Brooke's dad is a Marine, meaning she has moved around quite a bit. Despite the challenges this has brought on, Brooke has persevered and rose above these challenges. Brooke will be the first in her family to attend college and pursue her dream career as a veterinarian, so congratulations to Brooke. Next, our Pirates of the Month are freshman Oliver Hankinson, sophomore Colin Dubois, junior Frida Lopez Hernandez, and senior Santiago Vega. Our proud Pirate staff member is Mr. Conseco, and our bountiful Pirate this month is Mrs. Villapanto.
This is our Pirate Excellence Athletics. For OHS Athletics, boys golf is taking control of the Avocado League with a 6-0 record. Their 9-match winning streak is the longest of the season.
Up next, we'd like to introduce our Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Ray. Ms. Ray is our choir guitar teacher at OHS. Ms. Ray has dedicated 12 years to making an impactful mark in not only the Oceanside District, but to OHS itself. Ms. Ray has elevated our school's performing arts program to new heights, earning recognition as one of the finest in the country. In her program, all students feel welcomed and valued. Congratulations to Mrs. Ritt. And then lastly, here are some upcoming events. So we had our cheer family meeting, and then we did have a blood drive today. And then we also had our recognitions award ceremony. Yeah, tomorrow. And then we have our show choir completion, and then coffee with counselors.
We also have, where?
Okay. Next we have our Earth Day events, our girls basketball banquet, HHD preview days, financial award letter, family workshops, OHS dual enrollment info meetings, and rock band lunch concert. And I think that's all. Thank you guys.
At this point, we will go approve for agenda. I'll call for the vote.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I second. I have a first, I have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Motion passes. We'll start now with superintendent report, please.
Thank you. I have a few exciting things to share. We recognized and let all of our employees of the year know that they were our employees of the year on March 21st. So you heard about Leah Ritt from Oceanside High School. She's our teacher of the year. Louis Casillas, Spanish teacher here at Chavez Middle School. Melissa Hartman, office assistant at Palmquist, and Donald Vivian, campus supervisor at Surfside. So congratulations to all of our employees of the year. Some more recognitions. We have some staff members being recognized for their exemplary work. In honor of Women's History Month, Representative Levin honors Gabriella Husman for her outstanding service to the North San Diego County community and acknowledge her as his March 2024 Constituent of the Month. She works at El Camino, is the co-founder, president and co-founder of Mana de North County, San Diego, which she helped establish in 2009. Since its inception, the organization has been dedicated to empowering Latinas to pursue their goals. So we're very proud of Gabriella's work and recognition. And also Jacqueline Martinez, who is the community school coordinator at Jefferson Middle School. Jackie received the Women Who Inspire Award from Senator Blakespear. This award acknowledges women who inspire others with their extraordinary achievements, service, and contributions to the community. And we congratulate Jacqueline on her recognition. And in the room with us, Diane Kemp Lopez in the back. Raise your hand, Diane. She didn't know this was coming. Diane and Leif Atkinson are champions of biliteracy honorees. Diane and Leif have been selected as OUSD champions of biliteracy from the San Diego County Office of Education Leadership and Biliteracy Symposium. Diane was selected for her unwavering advocacy for language access for our families and students here in OUSD. Leaf was selected for his continued role in promoting the California State Seal of Biliteracy beyond his classroom walls. They are both true champions for language equity, access, and proficiency in our community, and we honor them for the work they do. Congratulations. And that's it.
And we will move on to Nancy, please. No report. Eleanor?
Good evening, everybody. Nancy and I attended the Coast to Coast California School Board Association lobbying event, which was an opportunity for us to tell our story in terms of why we need Congress, why we need the Department of Education to support education and the quality of education in Oceanside, not just continuously send down unfunded mandates, but if you're going to do that, to also send funds to ensure that those mandates are implemented properly and correctly. As a board member for the community housing work, as well as board member for the Oceanside School District, I had the opportunity to be invited to the grand opening of the Mission Cove Affordable Housing Unit on Mission Avenue. And if you drive by, you'll see that it's really an absolutely phenomenal place, very well architecturally, very well done. It houses many of our students. They, as part of the Community Housing Works program, they provide after-school tutoring, iReady, for the resident students who are there. And it's one of those programs, and it's one of those housing units that fulfills what I guess the state is saying, that housing is the new civil rights of the 21st century, whereas education was the civil rights of the 20th century, according to W.E. Du Bois. I also attended Oceanside High School Performing Arts, and it was amazing. Our students are so talented, so gifted, and it is always a pleasure when we see our students perform. Thank you so much, teachers, administrators, tutors, parents. You know, it's wonderful. And actually, quite frankly, I think we're one of the few school districts in which we have that caliber of talent, and I wish all of our community members, all of our parents and taxpayers could see our students perform, because they are fantastic. I also, as a member of the California School Board Association Board of Directors, participated in for me, it was my first Board of Directors meeting, and it was very interesting. I am the director now for Region 17, which means all of San Diego County and all of the 41 school districts within the county. And I will be sharing what I can share, because it seems to be sort of a cloak of, I wouldn't say secrecy, but it's interesting how the California School Board Association operates. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike?
No report.
Thank you. Tracy?
I have a short one. We had a lot of events where we all did it, but the one that stands out to me is we have a special educator that works for Oceanside Unified who started her own nonprofit foundation called the Shine Foundation, and she hosts a fundraising event every year to raise money for families and students with disabilities to do extracurricular activities, not only in Oceanside but in all of North County. So that was a really cool event. I also attended the National School Board Association annual conference and learned a lot of stuff. I'm sure Dr. Vitale will be hearing about. And I'm really looking forward to the Surfside has their fundraiser coming up on April 27th at the Wild cat, car, bike, boat show is happening that morning, so I highly recommend if you don't have anything to do that Saturday, get your steps in and go over to El Camino to see that. That's all I got.
Thank you. I also attended the conference as well, and the Shine Foundation fundraiser was amazing. It's a great way to support families within our community, within North County, and everything that they do for them. So it was great to attend that. We were able to celebrate the Employees of the Year, meet the city. We were able to attend the Crystal Apple Awards. And I attended a meeting with Oceanside Theater Company, who is working with many of our students to bring arts into our schools and many of our schools. And so it's been an amazing collaboration with them to be able to grow our programs within our school district. So thank you to Oceanside Theater Company. And at this point, we'll move forward. Thank you. We will now welcome CNCA to the podium. Deborah, present. Thank you.
Good evening, Board President Alvarez, trustees, Superintendent Bertali. My president, Chuck Joy, was supposed to speak, and he had an emergency, and he called me at 4 o'clock and told me I was speaking. So I'm here. I don't like to do things like last minute, but I talked to my boss, and I was like frantic, and I was like, what better to speak on than my experience from the mock? So I threw something together, but I hate that I threw it together in like 30 minutes. So I'm going to share a little bit about our experience. Tonight I'd like to highlight the opportunity, our amazing opportunity that we got to have at the Museum of Tolerance in Los Angeles. Through the DEI, I was able to first attend, I was first able to travel to the Museum of Tolerance. After experiencing the museum and all that it had to offer, I have since attended other events and am now part of their emails. From this, I learned of an opportunity where a group could go and learn, and that event was Speaking Up, Interrupting Bias in School. So I reached out to my classified team because that's not something that the classified people often get to do. And so I reached out to our classified members, and we were able to get a group of people together and go on this 2-day adventure to LA. And it was really nice because we got to spend the night in LA and attend the mock. And so it was being led by Emily Chiarello from Learning for Justice, and she has a whole business around interrupting bias in schools, and she goes around and does this at different schools and districts and businesses, and so she ran us through a series of sessions on interrupting biases in school, and guess what? It's also important in the workplace. So for those of you that have gotten to go to the Museum of Tolerance, they often do a variety of things when you do these workshops. So aside from the bias workshop, we also got to hear from speakers. So I brought this book, The Kindness of Color, and it was written by Janice Menimuso. I think I said that right. So it was written by the daughter, I want to say this correctly. So she was the daughter of the family that owned the farm where the Mendez family leased. And we don't often hear from that side of the story. We hear a lot about the Mendez family, but the Winslow family was the Japanese family that was taken into the camps back when they rounded up all the Japanese families. And so I thought that was really nice that we got to hear from that piece of the story this time. So I wanted to share that because we don't hear from that side. So if you want to read her book, it's Kindness of Color. And we also got to hear from a Holocaust survivor, and they always bring a Holocaust survivor for us to listen to and tell their stories. And that's amazing because they've been sharing with us recently that this is the last group of Holocaust survivors that we're really going to get to hear from. And that's amazing that we get to hear the stories from these people. And while on this trip, we were able to network with our classified people from other schools in our district, and we were greatly impacted by the information we received, by the opportunity to see the Simon Wiesenthal office, because they actually have a replica of his office, and just to walk through the Holocaust Museum, and just to see the replica of what the victims went through. Just a small piece of it because it's really impactful just to see what happened back then. Just kind of a interesting fact that Hitler actually went to South Carolina to see how the slaves were treated, to go back and treat the Jews that way. So that was very interesting to hear. And I'd just like to say that I know that each and every one of our classified staff that went on this trip received a lot from this opportunity. And just being able to network and just hearing the discussions at the tables with each other about the anti-bias language and what they're striving to not do because of what they learned and heard when they were on this trip. And so I just like to say thank you to OUSD, to DEI, to Jordy, and to Adrian, and to Dr. Vitale for this opportunity. Sorry for the last minute speech, and hope we're better prepared next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Now vote for Oda, please.
Good evening, President Alvarez, trustees, Dr. Vitale, cabinet, colleagues, and community. I am Tiffany Cooper Ortega, a proud union member and the president of Oceanside Teachers Association. I'm also the parent of 4 OUSD graduates. By the way, I invited one of my children here, and he's here tonight. Daniel, stand up. He me for one of the school projects, so I'm like, come on over. Okay, April is School Library Month, a time to celebrate the essential role that strong school libraries play in transforming learning. OUSD school librarians are teachers, leaders, instructional partners, information specialists, and program administrators. They do it all, sometimes from a little rocking chair with children at their knee, sometimes finding a charging cord for a Chromebook, or chaperoning the robotics team at World Championships in Houston, Texas, as the school librarian from OHS is doing right at this very moment. I would personally like to thank the school librarians that are members of our certificated bargaining unit and the library media techs that are part of our classified bargaining unit for all of the hard work that they put into our school libraries to be sure that our teachers and community have access to the resources they need to have all of the world a click or a page turn away. But most importantly, I want to thank them for the way that they value our students. They give our students access to books that reflect their experiences. They work to be sure that our libraries have books that include characters with the skin color and language of our students. Novels that reflect cultural traditions that feel familiar to the students of OUSD. Picture books with families that sit at tables that might mirror the ones in the homes throughout Oceanside. Graphic novels that describe the feelings that our students may not be able to articulate themselves just yet. Or maybe, just maybe, that book or novel gives our students a window into something that may be nothing that they have ever experienced before, or may never experience. And that small kernel of exposure provides them with empathy, kindness, and understanding for someone else, for another experience. That small window into someone else's experience and life through the pages of a book can give a deeper awareness for the journey of their fellow human. I've said it before, and I'll venture to guess that I'll probably say it again. We learn to be human through the humanities. And I would like to thank our amazing school librarians and library mediatheks for creating safe, nurturing places for our beautiful OUSD humans to grow and blossom and provide shelves of primers from which to learn empathy and kindness towards others. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Move forward to public comments on agendized items. During this portion of the meeting, individual speakers will be allowed up to 3 minutes total to address the board on agenda items, including items on consent agenda. However, the total time for public input may be limited to 20 minutes, while the total time per speaker for a given topic may be slightly reduced in certain circumstances. All persons wishing to address the board will have a meaningful opportunity to do so during this meeting. An individual may only return in one public comment card for the public comments on agendized items.
Okay, we have 7, and the first 2 will be Emily Richmond and Michael Rayo.
I'll be speaking on a couple of topics. The first one is B4C, Safe School Action Plans. Again, another year that the board did not ask for a presentation of your schools. Where are the students, where are the staff? How many claims against the districts do you need before you get a wake-up call? What's going on with Libby and their school, their quote, safety plan? Is it solution to kick out parents and their PTO off the school grounds because they are, quote, troublemakers, only after looking over their own kids? Or how about Ivy Ranch parents that have given they've been given the safe school plans to help mitigate their student safety issue? Item 4, the ratification of the warrant list. There's about 11 purchase orders that have been issued to DEMCO for business services out of the general fund, the sources discretionary fund for contracted services of about $108,000 this month. What are those contracted services? DEMCO sell books, supplies, equipments. What are you contracting for? The warrant list was designed to give board members the ability to easily track expenses. Business services is not transparent. It seems to have poor auditing or accounting practices. There again, I'm talking about mileage here. Again, about $6,000 a month is what you've been going through for reimbursement for mileage. That's about 60 gas tanks. How is that affecting student achievement and academic performance? How is attending conferences all over the nation and presenting at equity and DEI conferences help our students in Oceanside? Now we'll talk about the credit card expenditures. That's all the warrant list. In February, March, and April 2019, there were 4 credit card expenditures. At that time, correct accounting practices were used, purchase orders, etc. Expenses were questioned and approved before any spending, especially the credit cards. The Director of Fiscal Services ran a tight ship, and the department knew that it was the taxpayers' dollars that they were entrusted to protect and use for the academic success of students in Oceanside. In February, March, April 2019, there were 4 credit card expenditures on the warrant list. In February, March, and April 2024, this year, there were 84 credit card expenditures. How is the spending of these funds helping students in Oceanside, especially when our district is down several hundred students? Only 41% are at grade level in English and 29 at grade level in math. How is this spending affecting student achievement and academic performance? In fact, the scores went down from 2022 to 2023. I'd like the board to be able to do your diligence, again, finance is a big part of you, and it's gonna come in the next couple of years, it's gonna be coming down. So I just want you to be sure that you understand the warrant list, and you understand the credit cards, and you understand your fiscal department, what they are not doing for you. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Michael Rail. I am a Oceanside resident, concerned Oceanside resident. And I'm not entirely sure what I was going to be speaking on today because the school board's continued attack on freedom of speech by limiting public comment to agendized items at the beginning of the meeting. I'm not able to actually see the full program, or in this case, the magnet schools presentation, but I will go ahead and give you what my concerns are for the magnet schools, even if I don't have the information. I probably would have been. I would have gotten those answers had I seen the presentation. But my concerns are that the biggest one I'm going to have is that students need to be at their neighborhood schools. There should be no limitation. There has been tradition or trends of magnet schools in the past that have pushed students out of their neighborhood schools. Because of the lottery system, there's a lot of students that would be in those neighborhood schools that would not be able to be into those. They would be pushed out to other ways. This will inherently create an increase in inequity because a lot of the students that are at my school that I teach at would not be able to travel across the district to get to another school site. So, and with the closure of Garrison, there's already that increase of students getting to their school, so we've had difficulty with that in the past. The other part of that is that we have limited space, facility space, as everybody should know, because we reduced our space limitation when we were remodeling the school. This board ended up canceling 2 of the modulars that we had at our school. We had to increase students, we had to increase kindergarten classrooms this year in order to accommodate all the students that were coming in. So the next part, my second concern would be adequate funding for programs. We need to make sure that we are funding these programs that we are saying that we are having, but it is interesting that as a fierce advocate, myself as a fierce advocate for the arts, that this administration actually discouraged me from advocating for the arts program at our school site. And I will continue to fight for the arts program. It's not like that now, but that's how it has been in the past. But again, we're still not having all of our programs even funded, and it makes an increase. I would probably start with our special education department to make sure, or our special education program, to make sure all of our service minutes are met at our school site. I'll leave that at that. And then my last.
Thank you. Sorry.
I would also vote no.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
I vote no on.
Thank you, Mr. Raya.
Our next board speakers will be Brian Strong, Kelly Tavares, Caitlin Kosek, and Abby Stutter.
Good evening, board members. My name is Riley Plum, concerned parent for the Ivy Ranch School District. I have 4 children of my own, 2 of which currently attend Ivy Ranch. We're here to discuss, as the concerned parent and PTO, the new installation of the fence that's along Mesa Drive. So the problem that we're having is that there's a lack of privacy and safety with regards to this newly installed fence. About 6 years ago, we as the PTO petitioned, got grants, and received funding to be able to put slats in existing fence in order to produce better privacy, better safety for the students. And I participated in that with my family and a ton of volunteers and personally put in every single one of those slats on the existing fence. And that stood for the last 6 years. Recently, without warning, notice or conversation, the fence was removed or replaced. It is still unclear why this change was necessary, as none of the structural posts were replaced, but they're only spray painted. It's supposed to be a non-scalable fence. It's got 1-inch holes. I've installed this in my career with in construction, but it is anything but non-scalable. In fact, just a couple weeks ago, one of the kindergartners actually scaled the fence, got all the way to the top before he was issued down by a new duty. So it is far from non-scalable. But back to the fence removal. The fence was removed and replaced during school hours while children were playing on the playgrounds. It took days to complete, and it looks nice. But we're not here to see what looks nice. We're here to see what's safe and provides that safety for our children. Many emails have been sent, and you should be caught up on that. You'll know that there is a registered sex offender with crimes against children that lives directly across the street. And I have an exhibit here that you can see. This is the sex offenders registry online that anybody can look up. And you'll see that directly across the street, now the little black spot in the middle, that is a registered sex offender. His name is Camilo Ricardo Osuna Jr. And just a few weeks ago had a run-in at one of at El Camino campus. And he's also registered as a 6 on the registry, which is at high risk of repeat offense. So back in November, as parents, we tried to start a conversation in the school district regarding our concerns with the press to ensure privacy of our children. In December, as parents sent emails to the principal staying within our proper chain of communication and reported both some of these incidents. There was one reported incident of a person who recorded children outside the fence. They were approached by a noon duty and told to leave, and they did not leave and continued to record. Cameras have been installed, but that is a reactionary offense. We have plans that will address as a PTO of our concerns that I think are reasonable, and appreciate your time in this consideration. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shelly Tavares. I'm a mom of 4, 3 of which still attending Irish Elementary School. And I want to pick up where I left off. In January, at our monthly PTO meeting, the principal came with the district's response to our request for privacy of some kind to be added to the fence. The response is noted in our PTO meeting notes, but in essence, it was that no modifications to the fence were allowed and other safety protocols were now in place to replace the privacy panels. When asked about those protocols, we were told that the new duties have walkie-talkies and are instructed to contact the office if an incident takes place. There are 2 new duties at any time on the playgrounds at the highest populated elementary school in the district. 2. While these 2 new duties are keeping our eyes on our children and doing their very, very best, they are not responsible for policing what is happening on the other side of the fence, nor can they possibly be expected to watch both 150 of our kids and every single person that walks by. That's unrealistic and unreasonable responsibility to take place on 2 people. We push back. If the fence can't be modified, then we'll add to it. We found a solution that wouldn't modify the structure of the fence or affect its integrity. We purchased privacy screens online, which we notified our principal that we were doing and when it would be installed. The panels came in a little later than expected, but we installed them Sunday, March 3rd. Monday morning, 5 trucks from the district personnel showed up to remove the panels. Within 2 hours, while the kids were playing on the playground, they were taken down. There were zip ties left with sharp edges left everywhere, and still no response from the district. Instead, a few hours after the panels were removed, an email was sent from our principal to the staff and the entire parent-student body, making us sound like vandals and accusing us of violating the school district policies. Security cameras were also brought up as a replacement to the solution. It was very fast mention of these cameras during any part of this process. The district and the school had from between November and March to begin the conversation regarding security cameras, and never once did. Also, when pushed, for a copy of the policy we were supposedly in violation of, the response was, and I quote, "It is a verbal policy, more of a protocol that the district was agreed to, it's not written policy." How can we be in violation of policies that don't exist? In no professional realm anywhere can anyone be held accountable for a verbal policy. Aside from the disrespectful treatment of the parents, I am disgusted by the lack of regard for student privacy and safety. This is important to me because my youngest 3 children attend this school, and their safety and privacy are my #1 concern, as it should be yours while they are in your care. I want to be proactive and having something done before anything happens. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Caitlin Kosek. I'm in my 2nd year serving with the Ivy Ranch PTO, and I'm the mother of 2 young children, one who started at Ivy Ranch at 4 years old. I am here tonight to request the board provide oversight to our district leaders for conducting a fencing change at Ivy Ranch Elementary that directly conflicts with the district's own facility master plan. The survey the district commissioned to inform the 2021 Facilities Master Plan identified parents' 5th top concern as improved campus security, including visual barriers to play areas from public streets. This concern was shared by 284 parents. In response to these concerns, the district created the Crime Prevention through Environmental Design guidelines within its master plan. Verbatim from this plan: natural territorial reinforcement, create and clearly define private areas from public areas to deter trespassers. Good landscaping design can contribute to this by creating a no man's land buffer of landscaping, in parentheses, prickly planting, that would make a person walking in the zones stand out as an intruder. Here is a visual representation of that from your own website. It shows a shaded fence with landscaping separating the sidewalk from the school grounds. Despite presenting this information to our principal, our superintendent, and our board representative, we have yet to hear a response why a facility improvement that is in direct alignment with your own master plan will not even be discussed. I ask you to add an agenda item to the next board meeting to discuss plans to rectify the mistake that was made. Please also discuss approving a formal gift acceptance agreement with the Ivy Ranch PTO to correct this error and bring Ivy Ranch facilities back into compliance with the facilities master plan. A solution could be shaded fencing. Shaded fences are still in use at OUSD's Ditmar School. Looks like they were recently installed again, and in all neighboring districts. In Vista, shaded fencing is used at Alamosa, Grapevine, and at the highly desirable Casita Magnet Elementary. In Carlsbad, shaded fencing is at Aviera Oaks. Also in Vista, mature landscaping is used to provide privacy for Breeze Hill Elementary students for the busy Melrose Ave corridor. And in Encinitas, at Paul Eckey Elementary, fences are completely covered with passion fruit vines as well as shading for the kindergarten playground from a side street, not even the main road. Please do what's right. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Abby Suter. I am also a concerned parent of children at Ivy Ranch. I have 3 daughters attending there, 5-year-old twins and a 7-year-old. I grew up in Oceanside. I attended Morrill Elementary School, Lincoln, when it was a junior high school, and graduated from Oceanside High School seemingly 100 years ago. You've now heard what we as parents want from Ivy Ranch. We've been trying since November to collaborate on the fence. We've called, we've emailed, and now I'm standing in front of you with a petition with 288 signatures on it from parents who want this fixed. You've already said no, but I have to keep trying because my daughter's lives depend on your ability to keep them safe while they're in your care. Do you know that there are at least 10 families that are pulling their children out of Ivy Ranch because of this? They're not just leaving Ivy Ranch, they're leaving the district. They're headed to the city. very clear, safe is more important than beautiful, and it's offensive that we received an email saying that our school is a showcase for the district. Additionally, proactive safety and reactive safety are two very different things. As an example, a proactive approach to your own home security would be to lock your doors and windows when you leave. You can also install alarm systems with obnoxious noises that call the police when set off. Posting warning sign deters would-be burglars. A reactive approach to your home security leaves the doors and windows unlocked, does not include an alarm, and relies solely on your video doorbell. You may also place cameras on your back door in your garage. Those cameras will capture what the thieves want you to see, their hooded faces and your stuff leaving your house. The privacy panels we have begged for are proactive safety. They deter intruders from even approaching the fence. Your camera solution is reactive. Those cameras are not going to climb down off the walls and tell pedophiles to go away. We asked for a compromise when you said no. We ask that you follow your own documentation, as shared by Caitlin, and plant prickly plants in the existing no man's land outside the fence. You said no. No explanation, just no. Yes, there are parents who disagree with privacy panels. That's another reason why we feel that the prickly plants are the perfect solution. The parents who just disagree with the privacy panels get to keep their line of sight. The parents who want the privacy panels will at least be able to keep people away from the fence. And the district, to quote Mr. Lessing's email, gets to continue to showcase one of the most beautiful campuses in the district. It's a win, win, win. But you said no. Our expectation following this meeting is at the very least prickly plants planted in the no man's land on the outside of the fence. Ideally, however, we would appreciate opening a dialogue that can be mutually beneficial. I hate to threaten, and I don't want to, but we've been working on this since November. If we don't hear something very soon, by the end of next week, we may be forced to follow up with a Williams uniform complaint procedure.
I'll call for a vote for items of general consent agenda. I'll call for a motion.
So moved.
A second.
I have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. We'll go to presentations. Ricardo camera capabilities.
Thank you, President Alvarez. This evening, I'm pleased to introduce Mike Grablin. He's our Director of Technology, and he has a presentation for us on our new cameras and their capabilities.
Good evening, Board President Alvarez, Board members, Superintendent Dr. Vitale, and Executive Cabinet members. I'm Mike Grablin, Director of Technology, and tonight I want to share a little bit of information about the capabilities of the camera system. Some general camera information. Verkada is not just a camera. It is a next-generation, cloud-based, highly scalable camera solution used by schools all over this country. It uses a combination of machine learning and artificial intelligence to actually give us actionable video data. There are currently 15 cameras per elementary school, 25 cameras per middle school, 40 cameras per the high schools. So far we have completed Chavez Middle School, Del Rio Elementary, El Camino High School, Fusat Elementary, Ivy Ranch Elementary, Libby Elementary, McCullough Elementary, Nichols Elementary, and King Middle School. Our estimated completion date for this entire project is August 20th, although we are running about a week ahead of schedule. So I do want to show you a few images of what the cameras look like. This is an example from Ivy to kind of give you an idea of what it sees and the actual image quality. These are 2.5 times greater than HD, so the image quality is phenomenal. This is the front of the campus. This is what the cameras see. Just an example, there are 15 total. Not all 15 are up here. This is the back side of the campus at Ivy. This is
Street View. A couple of the features I want to talk about. And first is line crossing and loitering alerts. So this system has the ability to send out a text alert and an email for a variety of things. If you look at the image on the left, you'll see that I drew an invisible line, a digital line all the way down the fence line at Ivy, and I marked it for alerts from both directions. So what this does is, should a person hop the fence from Mesa onto the campus, a text alert and an email go out immediately to that assistant principal and principal. In that alert is a button that allows a live video feed. They click it, there's no logging in, there's no app needed, they get to see what's happening in real time. On the right, I took the fencing from Ivy along the kindergarten areas, and I highlighted the entire fence and created a loitering alert. So what this does is any person just walking by, no alert happens. But if a person were to stand there for a prescribed time, an alert gets sent. Again, it goes out to the administration of that school site, letting them know somebody is standing at the fence line just a little too long. Crowd detection. This one I can see being used mostly at the high schools and the middle schools. Using its AI algorithms, you can draw any trouble area or just do the whole frame for the camera system at once. But what it does is it looks at normal behavior in that area, and then it can see anomalies. And by an anomaly, I would mean if it saw a group of students all run into the frame at once, it would determine that there's something going on, possibly a fight, and it would send out an alert immediately. And these don't have to just go to the site administrators. These alerts can go out to campus security so that they're aware also right off the bat. Touching more on people and vehicle analytics. So all of the cameras that were installed all have the ability to search for people, faces, clothing color, vehicles, even the presence of backpacks. It's able to do this with its artificial intelligence. We can quickly search and match people, find them quickly via their face, the color of their clothing, the vehicle that they were driving. And from that data, we're actually able to create person of interest notifications. So you can proactively send text messages, again in emails, from a face. It doesn't have to be from the camera system. You can upload an image, and it can be site-specific or district-wide, and when that person is detected by one of the cameras, that site's administration then gets an email alert again. So the virtual lineup, if an incident were to happen that was just outside of the camera's view, if somebody is able to describe the person in detail, we can input that description into the system. It will search all of the video footage and present you with a virtual lineup of who it matches that description. So, and on top of that, it'll give you a timeline of each camera that saw that person and when, so you can predict the path that that person took to your site. License plate recognition doesn't do just people. It does vehicles, and it does recognize license plates. They do not have to be California license plates to use much, but they can be foreign license plates. It's able to pull those alphanumeric characters off the plate. It does also generate real-time alerts for license plates. So if there was a vehicle that was ever involved in a security incident at one of our sites, we could input either the vehicle description or the license plate into the system, and then the system would alert us when that license plate or that vehicle showed up within camera view from any of our sites. It also has the capability for vape and smoke detection. again, at the high schools. And just to kind of give you a scenario of how this would work, if the alert goes off, that somebody is smoking or vaping in one of our restrooms, student restrooms, staff is immediately notified. And then the video from the nearest cameras is marked and pushed out to that site administration, so that they can immediately see who went in and who came out when that vape sensor went off. Feed sharing. The system gives us the ability to share the live camera feeds with first responders. So in the event of an emergency, with a click of a button, we can give police officers limited time access by simply clicking a link and sending it out as a text message or an email. This gives them real-time visibility into the school and eyes into the campus even before they get there. This is also an example I sent it off to myself. The right image is actually what it looks like on my phone. I had immediate access into ID's cameras from a text message. Data security and privacy. This is something we're huge on in the IT department. So, and I get asked this a lot. Where is this data stored, and how is it being protected? So, Verkada hosts everything here in the United States. It's all cloud-based. They use Amazon Web Services. They are a SOC 2 compliant cloud solution. That was actually one of our must-haves in our RFP. SOC 2 means that they annually have to be audited by a third-party entity for their cybersecurity practices and their data handling and their privacy. And they literally have to, in order to achieve SOC 2, they have to prove that they are doing everything to industry standards. All of the video footage is encrypted in rest and transit. So what that means is that when the video footage leaves our school sites, our camera system goes to the cloud, it is encrypted, so it's not accessible to anybody. And when it's actually stored in the cloud, it's still encrypted, inaccessible. Only OUSD has access to the cameras and the recorded footage. Verkada does not have access to the cameras, they don't have access to the footage. They're I am currently the only person that can grant that access. It is a button within the portal that I've been given in cases of support, but they do not have access. They cannot get access without us granting access. And lastly, there's a really nice feature here that covers FERPA. So it does have by default, a face blur feature so that we can share images and video and all of the faces of students are blurred. So to protect their privacy. So we're in FERPA compliance and we keep everything secure. So that, in a nutshell, is the Verkada system.
Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. I was at a school that had cameras, like 25 cameras, basically pointing at my class. And we did, for the first time in history of that school, have a break-in from the magnet school to a neighborhood school. None of those cameras were hooked up. What guarantee that the cameras that you're talking about are going to be hooked up? They're not just a shell that's there.
So one of the requirements that we have from the installer, Daytel Systems, is they have to actually produce the test results. So we can visually see that all the cameras are up and working, but it goes beyond just working. We want to make sure that they've passed all of our quality test requirements that we've given them. There is an alert that if one of them does go offline, the IT department is notified. Verkada will come out immediately and change out that camera. These do come with a 10-year warranty. Most cameras last usually between 6 and 8 years. These have a 10-year. So they are confident in their quality.
So you said Verkada?
Verkada.
So they're stationed here in Oceanside?
They are in San Diego, yes. And our representative from Verkada that we are working with is in Encinitas. The installer is right here in Oceanside.
And you also state that everything's in the cloud. I don't know how many times I've been told by students when I did not receive their assignments or whatever it is. Oh, Ms. Evans, it's in the cloud, it's in the cloud. How do we get this stuff out of the cloud? Because I'm sorry, everyone on this panel will agree that I'm the least confident in terms of technology, you know.
Like we said, we have full access to the system. All of the data can be downloaded locally to our own infrastructure at any point in time. It is a highly redundant system. Like I said, they're using Amazon Web Services. Their data centers are all over this world, and they do replicate all of that data. So for redundancy, so if there's even a regional outage, they have backup data centers that still allow us access to our footage. And we can back it up ourselves at any time. Pull it right out of the cloud. Just download it. Don't do anything on the internet.
Okay, I'm still hearing the human factor. Okay. And when you talk about that, if something happens, an email is sent to the administrator. So that means that administrator is always, their phone is always on. And how quickly can that administrator really react to the situation?
They have their phone would have to be on, right? You see that text message?
That's my point, you know. So that administrator, excuse me, I have the floor, thank you. That administrator would have to be aware 24 hours a day.
So we're not gonna have our administrators monitor cameras 24 hours a day, but it's like reacting to any other situation. When they're alerted of a situation, they react. So we happen to have, I believe, 4 or 5 principals in the room. They can all tell you, as I visit their school sites, they're walking around with their cell phones on, because that's how they often communicate with their administrative team, with teachers, with their office staff. They also carry radios, and we can determine who gets those alerts. We have district office staff that will also get those alerts. But these cameras will not be monitored 24/7. But people will be aware when students are on campus, they will have access to alert information, just like any fire alarm, just like any other incident that may happen on a school campus.
Okay, my last, that's a small statement regarding AI and using AI to identify people. When study after study has shown that whatever the model they originally used to put images together, you know, that they're not sensitive to people who are not in the mainstream, people who are basically people of color, the BIPOC population. So how are you going to make sure that those corrections are there, especially when many of our students, you know, are quote-unquote of the BIPOC population, even in either branch?
The camera system doesn't care, right? I mean, I understand what you're saying. AI can absolutely be biased. It has to learn. It is a learning platform. So as it goes and it learns more, if it's being trained by the right person, you can correct those issues. But the camera system is kind of a different. It uses mostly machine learning for its AI, so it doesn't really. It's not looking at race, color. It's looking at just people. It's literally trying to distinguish between people and vehicles. That's all it does.
I have a couple questions. As far as so you put an algorithm, right? So they would detect at the line. So I was on the campus, right? And the kids have a rule that they're not supposed to be from a certain amount of feet from the fence and stuff, because it's a protection that they've got the students now using. But as a whole, what is the timeline of if somebody's on that opposite side of that fence? What's the time frame of them standing there talking to a student and wanting to, or just trying to get a student's attention? What's the time frame of response of it seeing them and then staff reacting? Because if you know, the great thing today was that there's not just the 2 new duties, there was multiple staff, right? They recognized that there was a kid near the fence line, but then the kids were having a little thing over here about the basketball game that was going on, so they were just everywhere. And that was just like one new duty, talking with those multiple groups, and still 4 other people watching the students. So, but what is that reactionary time of there's somebody there talking to students, shouldn't be, and then the alert going to staff?
The alerts are in real time. The time of when that alert actually happens is up to us. It is anywhere between 5 seconds and 5 minutes. So if anybody's standing there for 5 seconds, we can have a real-time alert sent, or we can set it for a minute. 2 minutes is all the way up to 5 minutes. How fast an administrator can make it there, I don't know. I would imagine some of our principals are quicker runners than others. So.
Right, I just look about my thing is just like, okay, so if somebody's standing there,
5 seconds, yes.
right, but what is it set at currently to?
By default, it's set at 1 minute.
Okay. So take this.
So I'm gonna, I guess I'm.
We can change that at any point in time as low as 5 seconds.
Okay, so we can say 15 seconds.
You can say 15 seconds.
We're gonna send an alert out to staff, whoever the staff is, and then the reaction rate.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can set it to times, because I'm assuming that like during drop off, it's gonna be going off consistently and.
Right.
Glad you asked.
Right,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
absolutely. These alerts can go out to different people at different times. Obviously, we don't want alerts going out to the principals maybe after school's out, when they can't do anything, if they're off campus. But maybe M&O is still around. So alerts for things like vandalism could then go out to innocent operations instead. So yeah, so it's totally customizable by schedule, by people at various times. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I probably have one of my questions. Are we gonna have some sort of central headquarters where all of that information can be gathered in the evenings?
It's the cloud. It's all in the cloud. Whose cloud? And it's stored for, talk about the cloud, Mike. Storage.
And how long is it stored?
It is stored, by default, all camera footage is stored for 30 days. Unless there's an incident, or that we want to reserve for some sort of data proceeding, then it can stay in for infinitum. But by default, 30 days. We retain footage for 30 days. So, and like everything is these days, the cloud is just somebody else's computer. In this case, it's Amazon. These data centers belong to Amazon. They maintain them. And I said they're spread all over the world. There's no central cloud. I mean, it is literally the data centers under the ocean. It's just Google's in the cloud. Everything.
I have one more question. Is there sound? Does the camera pick up any sounds?
No, it has that capability, but that is turned off. Recording audio open is just a huge FERPA concern. So we do not record audio. It's video only.
Playground Saturday.
Even at night, the sound is turned off?
At night, we can turn the sound off, yes.
Any questions? Any other comments, questions? Alright, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll now move forward to the presentation of the Board of Education for magnet schools.
The
you, President Alvarez, Dr. Vitale, Cabinet. I'm very excited tonight to share with you our work on assessing our current educational landscape. We're going to be building a foundation for excellence and creating a future where all students can be seen, supported, and encouraged to be their authentic best. The approach we're sharing with you tonight is our magnet school programming that will serve both neighborhood students and students from across North County who have an interest in specific areas of learning. This is a focus on a common area of success. Move the next slide, please. Our work is grounded in the Oceanside vision, which ensures that all students have the skills that they need and the knowledge and a positive self-awareness to build a future where they're prepared to be global citizens and future leaders. Key to this work is our graduate portrait, which focuses on establishing a system that's proactive and future-oriented. We want to make sure that our students are the center of the decisions we make, and our magnet programs will lead this vision for our graduates with academic achievement at the heart of all of our work, family and community engagement in specialized programs that can be accessed by all of our students, and again, across our county. I'd like to turn it over to our Executive Director, Mrs. Grablin.
Good evening, Board President Alvarez, our trustees, Superintendent Dr. Vitale, and our Executive Cabinet. Thank you so much for this opportunity to come and present to you tonight. I am very excited to share the work.
You want to move the dais so you're not getting sun?
You know, I'm going to try. I'm just going to move this way a little bit because every time I move it's in my eyes even more. So I'm just going to stand here and dance around with this. Thank you so much again for allowing us to be here tonight. I'd like to just acknowledge our colleagues that are here to share with you this exciting endeavor, and I'm honored to be here standing alongside them. As you know, magnet schools are free public elementary and secondary schools of choice that operate within an existing public school system. Magnet schools focus on a specific area of interest such as performing arts, world language, leadership, as well as science, technology, engineering, and math, otherwise known as STEM, and just to name a few. The concept is not new, dating back to the 1970s when it emerged as a way to desegregate public education and provide greater diversity in our classrooms. The objective at the time was to bring together students who share common interests such as science or performing arts, and families appreciated that opportunity for their children to spend time exploring their interests and develop their knowledge in an atmosphere that promotes excellence from students and teachers alike. Next slide, please. Currently, many districts in our local area have magnet schools. The California Department of Education acknowledges magnet schools and offers guidance to districts who are developing magnet programs. There are also national organizations that offer collaboration efforts regarding best practices in magnet programming. The Department of Education notes that the magnet schools have a common characteristic. Some common characteristics: they focus on a specific academic theme, they have no tuition, they follow the laws and regulations of other public schools, and they also require state certification for administrators and teachers. Dr. Levy?
Our approach here at Oceanside combines the best of magnet schools in traditional specialized programming and also supports our neighborhood students. Oceanside Unified School District welcomes our students in our neighborhood school, whether it's a magnet or not. Additionally, we want to provide choices for families that respond to and want different focus areas for their students. This is already done in many of our schools with our two-way bilingual immersion program at two of our schools currently, where we welcome both neighborhood students and students who have a particular interest in language learning. Ms. Grablin?
It's my privilege to introduce to you this evening site leaders from the OUSD magnet programs. I'm going to start with Dr. Carla Aranda and her team. Also presenting tonight will be Laura Ho from Del Rio, Academy of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. Rob Flaherty from Nichols Leadership Academy, Sam Glassberg, and Liliana Gonzalez from FUSAC Language Academy. And our site leaders are going to share with you their vision. I'm going to take a personal moment. I had the privilege of serving at a magnet school for 10 years, and I was on the founding faculty in a neighboring district for a School of the Arts, but one of the things I noted in my time there was the passion and dedication that the individuals who are sitting right here had, not only for their programming, but for that instruction that was occurring for their students. And so I am very, very excited about these programs, and I am very invested in the arts in particular, but that just happens to be my area. So I'm going to turn this over to Dr. Rhonda.
Good evening, I am Carla Aranda, and I have the great privilege of being the principal of Pablo Talk School of the Arts, and to introduce Victoria Mariani, who is one of our amazing kindergarten teachers and proud supporter of the arts. I'm here tonight to present information about, next slide please. One more? One more?
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm here tonight to present information about our School of the Arts program. The vision of Pablo Talk School of the Arts is to create a nurturing and inclusive artist-scholar community in which scholars, teachers, families, and local artists collaborate to provide an arts-rich education that inspires creativity, fosters critical thinking, and builds cultural awareness. We believe that by integrating the arts into all aspects of learning, we can prepare artist-scholars to thrive in a diverse and dynamic world and contribute to a more equitable global society. Next slide, please. Our arts program will be grounded, Pablo Talk School of the Arts has been on a journey to becoming for several years. We have joined 2 schools and modernized our campus, and it's well underway. Pablo Talk, a Luiseño boy born in 1820 in the Quechua village, was selected as our namesake. Captain Mel Vernon of the San Luis Rey Band of Mission Indians stated that the naming of Pablo Talk Elementary School opens the cultural window to the Luiseño people, the land, art, and scholarship to the future generations of Oceanside. We embrace our new identity and are now primed to step fully into becoming a comprehensive School of the Arts. Next slide, please. Our arts program will be grounded in our core values of artistic expression, belonging, community, empathy, and compassion, and equity. Our program qualities include academic integration into the arts, cultural appreciation, collaboration with local artists, and inclusivity. A comprehensive arts program includes 3 components. In arts as curriculum, scholars learn knowledge and skills in a particular art form. In arts enhanced curriculum, the arts are used as a strategy to engage scholars in learning content in other subjects. In arts integrated curriculum, scholars engage in learning art standards and content standards to deepen understanding in both areas. Pablo Talk scholars will be best served when all 3 components are part of their education. Professional learning will be essential to increase capacity for teaching a comprehensive arts program. Features of our program will include lessons in all art domains: music, visual arts, dance, theater, and media arts. Scholars will have opportunities to explore and refine artistic skills in after-school and lunchtime art clubs. Showcases of learning and family engagement events will serve as celebrations with our community. Next slide, please. Back. Thank you. Research shows that arts-literate scholars do better in school, are prepared for the workplace, and are active members of society. Pablo Talk scholars will benefit from our arts program as we provide opportunities for them to achieve grade-level standards, demonstrate creativity in artistic processes, develop collaboration skills, and communicate effectively, apply critical thinking and problem-solving strategies, express their voices, and develop empathy and cross-cultural understanding. We are so excited to embark on this new phase of our journey and see our scholars learn and grow in and through the arts.
Can we grab a couple questions real quick?
I was going to ask, Mrs. Mariani, what would this look like in your classroom? So as we're moving forward with the School of the Arts in your kindergarten classroom, what does this look like?
It would be including those three components that Dr. Rada spoke about. I have a lot of the resources already, it's just like finding time to do it. It's been very difficult this year with giving support for my students with special needs, but music, I have instruments in that classroom. I know that we have a music program right now. My colleague, Mr. Royale, had it in his classroom. I would love to be able to do that with my students. Also, it's very simple, like adding things when you study any period of time, adding music from the time, adding theater from the time, adding dance, as well as adding the regular art standards too. I think we have to build upon it. You know, you could start at any grade, and then as they get older, you would build upon the things that you would incorporate. It takes a lot of planning. We have done prior planning back in Garrison, but it will take time in planning, but it's not difficult. It does take time.
Thanks.
Yes. And now I'd like to introduce Ms. Laura Hogue and her team from Del Rio.
So before you leave, I do have questions. I didn't know you guys were done, so with that. So what happens to the TWBI program that's at that school? How do you guys progress into the arts?
Yes, well, our TWBI program will continue to grow and flourish. And actually, I think they will be a great asset in terms of tapping into the arts and culture of the Hispanic diaspora. So that will be something that we can tap into as an asset.
Thanks.
Other questions? Okay.
And if there's more, we'll take more. Okay, sorry.
Ms. Laura Hogue and her team from Del Rio.
All right, good evening. I'm Laura Hogue, the proud principal of Del Rio Elementary, and I'm joined by my wonderful assistant principal, Heidi Barker, amazing first grade teacher, Catherine Sebastian, and phenomenal 4-5 combo teacher, Elizabeth Hoffman. We're very excited to be here tonight to share our proposal for the Del Rio Academy of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. Next slide, please. This change has been a long time in the making at Del Rio. Years ago, the staff implemented a makerspace and began to introduce some components of engineering. But for the last several years that I've been the principal, all students have been able to work in our STEM lab, learning the engineering design process and collaborating with peers to solve problems and think critically. In addition, we've introduced students to robotics and have filmed and produced a student-led newscast. We've also built a college-bound culture in which each class has adopted a college, and the students and staff have embraced the idea of envisioning their college and career dreams. Next slide, please. Moving forward, we'll be building upon the work we've done, incorporating intentional professional learning, planning, and collaboration with curriculum and materials to ensure a successful implementation of the science and engineering components in all classrooms. Our staff is excited to learn more about the Project Lead the Way components and build a school-wide weekly implementation of the selected modules. We'll structure our professional learning cycle around math instruction, guiding our students to think deeply about mathematics, digging deeply into our iReady curriculum and explore ways to manipulate numbers and truly understand the concepts involved in solving problems. Working with our teacher leaders, we will participate in weekly modeled and co-taught lessons that will wrap into our bi-weekly PD cycle in math, using data to target strategies that are increasing our student outcomes. Our EdTech lead teacher will continue with her work with our staff to challenge students to intentionally use technology to enhance their learning. In addition, families will be excited to participate in engagement opportunities like a Family Science Night hosted by the Fleet Science Center, and an increased focus on career opportunities in STEM during our annual College and Career Week. Next slide, please. I know this change will be so beneficial for our students. The school-wide focus in these areas will create opportunities for more hands-on and engaging work. Our Vikings will be having fun, but collaborating with their peers on challenging and interesting tasks. They'll build an improved mathematical understanding that will help them to problem solve more efficiently and effectively. And overall, we just can't wait to see how this will create even more excitement for our school, for our Viking family. Thank you. I'm going to invite Mr. Rob Clarity and his staff.
Alright, good evening. I'm Rob Flaherty, the principal of Nichols Elementary. I'm joined by my amazing third grade teacher, Cheryl White, and my fabulous special education teacher, Rachel Prentice. I am very thrilled to discuss and propose the Nichols Elementary Leadership Academy. Over a number of years at Nichols, we've been implementing the Leader in Me program. We use leadership notebooks for goal setting and progress monitoring, and we've established Leader in Me clubs for enrichment, collaboration, and other leadership opportunities. Students engage in service learning projects that benefit both our community and the students' development. We adopted the 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, as well as the newer 8th Habit framework to positively shape our school culture, strengthening the home-school connection, and we've prioritized ongoing staff and professional development to ensure effective support for students. This approach has resulted in a transformative impact, fostering proactive, empathetic, and resilient leaders within our school community. Next slide. Nichols Elementary's future growth strategy will focus on both the academic and social growth of our students. We will build upon what we've been successful with our Leader in Me implementation, such as our student-centered goal setting, student-led clubs, service learning projects, and the fostering of a positive school culture. Additionally, we aim to strengthen our community connections through events like Leadership Day, May 15th. You'll all be getting invites if you haven't yet. And we'll be taking steps to achieve a lighthouse status through the Leader in Me program. To support these endeavors, comprehensive professional development will be provided and continued for all staff members, classified as well as certificated, ensuring that they all have the tools and knowledge to effectively contribute to our students' success. Next slide. The Leader in Me program offers great opportunity for positive student outcomes. This includes personal growth, where we aim to cultivate well-rounded individuals equipped with essential skills for success. Through self-awareness, responsibility, and critical thinking development, students are empowered to navigate challenges with confidence and adaptability. Fostering leadership abilities is paramount as students learn to inspire and guide others towards shared goals, promoting collaboration and synergy. Community engagement is also central to our program implementation, encouraging students to actively participate in service-oriented projects that benefit society, instilling a sense of empathy, responsibility, and civic duty. An emphasis in these areas within the Leader in Me will provide a foundation to prepare students to thrive academically, socially, and ethically. Thank you. All right. And now I'd like to introduce the co-principals from FUSAT and their team.
Buenas tardes, yo soy Liliana González y aquí tengo a la otra codirectora, la señora Sam Glasper. También tenemos el privilegio de estar aquí paradas con 2 maravillosas maestras del programa dual, que es la maestra Leticia Cook, que enseña segundo año, y también la maestra Lisa Springstead, que enseña tercer año. Y aquí estamos, el propósito de nuestra plática ahora es que les vamos a presentar la visión que tenemos para la Academia de Lenguaje para la Escuela FUSAT.
Good evening. We are Liliana Gonzalez and Sam Glasper, co-principals at FUSAT Elementary, and we are here to present the vision for FUSAT Language Academy. And with us are 2 amazing teachers from the dual immersion program, Leticia Cook, a second grade teacher, and Lisa Springstead, also second grade teacher. Third, sorry.
This year we have successfully brought the dual language immersion program to FUSAT. We currently have 211 students enrolled in the dual language program. There are 2 kinder, 2 first, 1 of each of the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades. This program resides alongside our traditional program that is from TK to 5th grade, which we have 569 English-only scholars. We have been given the opportunity to create FUSAT's Language Academy. which will dovetail with our current dual language immersion program. Our vision for the Language Academy for the first year is to continue to focus on Spanish language and traditions. We will accomplish this through the developing opportunities for our staff to become familiar with the rich culture of Spanish countries. School-wide scholars will have the opportunity to learn about traditions and celebrations that make up rich culture, not of just Mexico, but also the other Latin American countries. After the first initial phase of our program, we will introduce staff and scholars to other cultures and traditions around the world. Currently, we have on our site a steel drum program. This program was spearheaded by one of our teachers and has grown throughout the school year. Scholars have participated in various events throughout the county and even had the honor of playing for our district retirement event and also for a board meeting. Also, on our campus this year, a ballet folklorico enrichment program was started. Next year, we look forward to continue with both of these programs and also start a mariachi and a rondalla program. Language programs that promote high levels of bilingualism and biliteracy have been shown to lead to significant academic benefits for scholars. This program provides cognitive advantages that facilitate academic achievement. Studies have also found that scholars in dual language programs outperform their non-lingual peers academically by middle school. The ability to engage with content in two languages strengthens cognitive skills like problem solving, multitasking, and focus. Cruzat Language Academy will create an additive environment that enhances cultural awareness, cross-group understanding, and positive identities, while enabling high academic achievement for all scholars. By being given the opportunities to learn about other cultures, students will develop an understanding and appreciation for the world around them and be equipped to function in global society. Thank you.
Thank you for our principals. If we could go on to the next question. So the question always becomes is how will we implement magnet schools here in Oceanside? What we want to make sure is that we will follow all of the same policies and guidelines that we have here in our district. We'll have student services, specialized curriculum, counseling, social emotional learning, all of those things. We want to make sure, though, that we are responding to the needs and wants of our community as far as academics go and our focus on specialization. What we want is to be able to welcome our neighborhood students into the neighborhood schools and at the same time allow families and caregivers, students, to select a school or program that closely aligns with their needs and interests. We believe that this will provide us with an opportunity to have competitive programming along with many of our other neighboring districts here in North County. And I want to take a moment to just really thank the principals and the instructional leadership team at each of these schools who have really thought deeply about the strengths and opportunities that they have within their school currently and how can they use these to really soar to the next level for all of their students. It's an exciting time and I'm very, very proud of them. We go to the next slide, please. So as we think about this, we started off talking about the importance of our vision and the way that we want to connect and create global citizens who are ready to be leaders. And what we have here is our graduate portrait. We want to have students be multicultural communicators, which we can see clearly from our facade. We want to have responsible digital citizens, which cuts across all of our schools. We want students to be able to identify, be positive about who they are, and to know that they can be capable of anything that they aspire to be when they graduate. We want to make sure that they are equitable and that they have global change, that they can make the world better in the future, and that they are ready to be adults in our community and take on that leadership role. And I know this vision is supported by our teachers and our community, and I want to thank our principals and our leadership team again, and Mrs. Grappin for the leadership that they have had to envision this future for our students here in Oceanside. Thank you.
I have a question or comments.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to see that our outstanding programs are gonna be expanded, because I think that's really important. We have a lot of great programs. My concern is the displacement of our local students, because I've seen it happen in Vista, and it creates extremely inequitable systems, because our kids are getting kicked out of their local schools because they're by application only. So I know we're saying that we're not going to do that, but I would like to know then what is the process? How are we going to manage those applications, and how is it going to be determined who gets to go to which school, and what that will look like?
So currently, all of our staffing decisions are based on two factors. One, our demographic projections that we see moving forward. And so then we make decisions about how many teachers we might need. We also look at the current students enrolled. In addition to that, we also have a number of students who, for a variety of reasons, do choose to get an application to go to another school site. And we work with human resources, we work with student services, and we look to see what the spaces are available. And then we balance out our schools that way. We would continue to do that just like we have in our two schools that currently already have our dual language programs, and we would continue with that focus.
So these won't become application only schools?
That is not planned to ever become an application only school.
And students that live in that area have first right.
Students who live in the area will always have first priority.
Jordy, do you want to talk a little bit about the intra-district transfer system that we already have in place at Oceanside? And we would basically use that system for people who wanted to additionally attend the neighborhood school.
Sure. Yes, just like Dr. Levy explained, we would utilize an intra-district process, which was previously known as school of choice, where we open up a window once a year that runs basically from kind of around the winter break through February, beginning of March, where families who are interested in attending other schools within the Oceanside Unified School District could petition to transfer to those schools. We make those decisions in conjunction with human resources to make sure that we have adequate staffing. But I think the most important piece to reiterate here is that we're not looking at application-only schools, and we're also not looking to exclude any residential students. So we want to prioritize students and families being able to attend their school of residence always.
So when does this window open again for students that may want to move next school year? Is that window closed, is it not?
The window is currently closed for intra-district. We always have the ability to reopen a window for specialized circumstances. We've done that before when we've had to close schools for any sort of reason. And so we could do this again, or we could rely on a window that opens up next year, going forward to the 25-26 school year. So that's 2 years ahead from now.
Where's it starting next school year?
Well, they're already doing it. All these schools are already doing this, and I applaud them for doing it without people giving them the focus, the resources to do the programs. So that's great. So yeah, we're going to enhance it, expand it.
That's correct. Enhance, designate additional funds to support the programs, market them, so that they are known throughout the community, so that people really know that they have options within Oceanside Unified. For example, the work that they've done at Nichols is incredible, and to be able to amplify that and let people know, and it also likely could draw people from other districts. Visiting Nichols, seeing what they have in place with Leader in Me. And I say this about every campus, but everyone right now just talking about Nichols. It's a very special environment, and the kids are in tune with their learning. They walk you through their notebooks because they're focused on every kid being a leader, and they provide those opportunities. And that's just a very special, unique opportunity that staff has decided to give to kids, and we just want to build on that and magnify that. And the other schools are all very special as well, but different.
Is there any work going to be done with the other school sites to identify like a specialization or something?
That's a great idea, Nancy. Yes, so we're building on what we already have in place and trying to amplify that. And if this is a direction that the board gives us to continue to move, we'll get these schools heartily in place, and then we'll work on what other, these were very organic. These weren't put upon the staff. These were things that they grew, and we have an opportunity to amplify. So we want to continue to support that, and then, yes, if the board wants us to look in that direction, we would love to help each school find its special, unique draw.
I have a question, it might be more for HR over there. So we talk about options, and every single one of these, moving forward to amplify or expand, you talk about professional development for staff, etc. So when I say options, it sounds like the staff has to be really committed to that magnet and what they're doing, and if they're not, like, do they have options to go to other school sites?
Yep, they'll be provided with, so this is in the beginning stage, and so as we learn and assess the needs that we'll have for professional development, those opportunities will be made as we identify them and that they're requested by the staff.
Now with that, are we allowing, and we're taking the admins, right, because of these school sites, we're taking the admins, we're just saying like this is their opinion and what they want for their site and what they're gonna need for their site. So listening to the teachers at that staff on that site, listening to what their needs are for their schools, because if they want to continue to grow their programming, we're actually going to listen to them and hear what they want, right? Because they know what their sites are and what their needs are. So listening to their and supporting financially to grow these programs to these amazing things. Just I'm like art right now. You know, so I'm gonna support my. I gotta go to make costumes by the way, so tonight. But you know, so doing all that part of it and making sure that we're supporting them and listening, because sometimes I think we forget, you know, in the Eiffel Tower we forget that they're doing the work. The Eiffel Tower, yeah, they're doing the work, and they're the ones with the students and they're the ones with the families and they're listening and they're getting dirty. You know, they're doing the groundwork of how they're going to support this. So we're supporting them. That's my number one thing. The Prop 28 monies, the whatever monies that we're getting, the grants that we're getting that we continue to go out and get, that's gonna. I just want to make sure that we're staying focused and growing, not only just at these sites, but other sites, because again, every site has their own thing that they're doing with their students in their community, right? So as long as we're going to continue to do that, that's my number one thing, because I don't want to lose that. Or have somebody come in and say, look, they forgot about us and they're not giving us the support, because then that's going to be a big struggle. And then that's where we're going to start to lose it. That's when the community is going to start to come in. And I'm going to be coming in and saying, my student's not getting this, and you said that they were going to do this, and they were going to do that, and we're not doing it. So as long as we can still continue to stay focused on that part of it, that was my number one thing. So, but thank you so much for this presentation, because I was thinking it was going to be a magnet school type of thing, that you're going to have to sign up and
I agree with you. I'm just hoping like a recommendation I would have is that each one of these sites has a stakeholder planning committee. And we did that with WBI and having the parents involved with the different staff people to make these decisions. That way, if an administrator moves on, the program doesn't collapse. So it's more about some ownership.
Thank you for that. Please. Thank you for that. I think that has definitely been very much on our minds, and we want to make sure that we are providing the opportunities, the resources that are needed, because we know the number one indicator of student success is that classroom teacher. So I know Mrs. Grafton's been leading that as well.
I also want to note, and it was brought forward, that the work that's been happening at these schools has been in existence. We're now kind of bringing it together into a programmatic, something that we can discuss and show and grow over time. These programs don't grow overnight, they take time. Site leadership and their leadership teams have really worked on looking at what will this look like to scale over the next 3 years to get us up and operational. What training do we need? What support do we need? What options do we have as practitioners in the classroom to determine, is this where we want to be or not? And those are all things that come with magnet schools. But I think the voice that has happened and the work that the principals have done, and they can speak to it most and will continue to do with those leadership teams, is what will make these programs strong. I thank you for your time. This is a definite passion point. I'm super excited about the work they're doing, and I just want to commend the entire staff. I wish all of your team were here, but to thank them for the hard work that they're doing.
I would also like to say thank you. Having been at a magnet school for a number of years, I think you guys have plugged in all the holes and are moving forward. I'm really excited about this, and I think it's wonderful. So thank you so much for your hard work.
And I'm sorry, next time I will not start don't forget to advance the slides. Sorry that we flew by them and we didn't advance them properly with our presentation.
Well, that's all right.
My bad.
Gave us moments to think about what you said.
We were just so excited to share.
Okay, moving on, moving to personnel. A, approval of AB 1200 bargaining disclosures for CSEA Chapter 370.
Thank you, President Alvarez and board members. So some good news on the next three items. Negotiations has concluded with CSEA. We have 3 items to reflect that. The first being a requirement of AB 1200, which is a state requirement for the fiscal impact of negotiations. This has been submitted, received, and completed by the county and is now ready for board approval.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
I've got a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, motion passes. The approval of negotiated agreement between Oceanside Unified School District and the California School Employees Association, Chapter 370.
Yes, so the good news, we have an agreed upon 2-year collective bargaining agreement. Both sides worked very hard and put a lot of time into this, and the end result is salary increases for our members, much deserved, as well as contract language to improve working conditions. So I'm pleased to present item 7B.
Here's the motion.
I'll make a motion.
I was first. Jason in a second. Thank you. And first in a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Sorry. Approval of classified salary schedules for increases.
Yes, and so as required by CalSTRS and CalPERS, we need to post all salary schedules. So our payroll departments have completed the salary schedule adjustments for both the 23-24 school year as well as the 24-25 school year for board approval.
Any questions?
Move approval.
Second. I have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. D, adopt a resolution number 34 for 23-24 proclamation for the Day of the Teacher.
All right, so we're very pleased that the California Day of the Teacher is May 8th, 2024. On this day, we celebrate the remarkable dedication and invaluable contributions of educators across the state, especially those in Oceanside. OUSD teachers inspire, empower, and positively impact the lives of students and the community every single day. Their unwavering commitment to fostering knowledge, nurturing growth, and instilling a love for learning not only shapes the future of our youth, but also enriches the fabric of our society. Let us take this opportunity to express our deepest gratitude to the teachers of Oceanside for their tireless efforts in shaping a brighter tomorrow for all of us.
Aye, but I have a comment. I really wish you would change that to Day of the Educator. Yeah, so it'd be a lot more inclusive.
I'm not in charge of that, so sorry. We'll pass it along.
To 7E, adoption resolution number 35, 23-24, classified employee appreciation week.
As we commemorate the profound impact of the educators on California Day of the Teacher, it's equally imperative to recognize the invaluable contributions of the classified employees within Oceanside Unified School District. These dedicated individuals form the backbone of our educational system, working tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure the smooth functioning of schools and the well-being of our students. From maintaining facilities to providing essential administrative support, their unwavering commitment and hard work are instrumental in creating a conducive environment for teaching and learning. Their dedication and professionalism not only enhance the efficiency of our schools, but also foster a sense of community and support among staff and students alike. Today, let us extend our heartfelt appreciation to the classified employees of the Oceanside Unified School District for their invaluable service and unwavering dedication to their profession.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
I have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Sorry. Declaration for need for fully qualified educators, 2024-2025.
Thank you. This is an annual requirement of the California Commission on Teaching Credentialing for us to list anticipation needs for hiring teachers under the emergency permits, limited assignments, and internship credentials. This is just an estimated of potential future needs for next school year.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
I have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Motion passes. Approval of new certified job description enrichment teacher.
Yes, and fulfilling the need for a new position, HR has created a job description that includes language that accurately describes the basic functions of the job, the role, and the skills required to successfully fulfill this position.
Thank you.
I'll move approval. Second.
I have a first and a second. All those in favor? Say aye. Aye. Thank you. Motion passes. Approval of revised certificated job description, coordinator, human resources, and school psychologist.
So we have lots of many jobs and families in the classified side, and HR classified has been working diligently and closely with CSEA and our practitioners performing the work, and each year we're bringing to you updated job descriptions. So this list here is part of our annual cycle as we bring forward updates for all of the job descriptions.
Todd, this is the coordinator and HR.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was on the wrong page. I apologize. This is the certificated job description for the coordinator of human resources and also for school psychologists. This was completed by our certificated HR side with the updates for these job descriptions.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Approval revised class specification director of transportation.
Yes, and so we have a retiring director in this position and took this opportunity to update the job description so that it closely aligns with the work that's performed. And so as we go out to recruit for this position, we have a current job description to go along with that.
Thank you. I have a motion for 7-9.
Move approval. Second.
I have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. J, approve a revised class specification information technology job family.
That's what I was talking about a minute ago. So this is the job family that I was referring to that Classified has worked to update these job descriptions. And we've worked very closely with the positions, the people in those positions, providing input so that it accurately reflects the jobs.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. K, approve revised class specification athletic job family.
Yes, and so we've taken these 4 job descriptions in this job family and updated them as well for board approval.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. Motion passes. L, approve a revised school calendar for 2024-2025.
Right, so our calendar committee is met and we have 2 days for next year's calendar, the 24-25 school year. There will be non-student days. These will be our professional development days for both certificated and classified staff to attend ongoing professional development and improvement. Those dates, just to note, would be January 27th and March 10th.
Thank you.
Move approval.
May I ask for a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. A first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Approval of school calendar for 2026-2027 school year.
All right, so we just approved next year's school calendar, and previously we did the next year's out. So now we're doing the third year out, so this is the 26-27 school calendar. And we do this because the community at large keys a lot of their dates off the school calendar. So we'd like to have a published third year out calendar. This is our 26-27 calendar proposal for board approval.
I have a first and I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Move on to A business. Acceptance of independent audit report for 2022-2023.
Thank you, President Alvarez. The accounting firm of Nigro & Nigro has completed the 22-23 audit. The independent audit report concludes that the district's financial reports for 22-23 accurately represent the financial position of the district and are compliant with generally accepted accounting principles, as well as other legal provisions, and that proper internal controls are in place. The audit report identifies findings that do not have financial implications and includes the OUSD action plan. It is recommended the board accept the 22-23 audit findings.
Thank you.
Acceptance.
First. Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes.
Are we gonna publish this in the newspapers in terms of?
It was on our website.
Specific numbers, huh? Because I noticed that the districts have theirs. Report is coming in. Okay.
Approval of resolution number 32, 23-24, authorizing the issuance of and the terms of sale of not to exceed 45 million of refunding bonds of Oceanside Unified School District by a negotiated sale pursuant to one or more bond purchase agreements, prescribing the sale of said bonds, approving the form of and authorizing the execution and delivery of one or more bond purchase agreements, a paying agent agreement, a continuing disclosure certificate, an escrow agreement, and an official statement for said bonds, and authorizing the execution of necessary documents relating to said bonds.
Thank you, President Alvarez. OUSD has been issuing general obligation bonds on an ongoing and consistent basis since the approval of Proposition G in November of 2000, the approval of Proposition H in June of 2008, and the approval of Measure W in 2020. The district has an opportunity to refund certain existing bonds issued pursuant to Proposition G and Proposition H that are callable on and after August 1st of 2024. To generate taxpayer savings by issuing refunding bonds. It is a relatively common practice in California school districts to issue refunding bonds in connection with new money bonds or when savings are sufficient to justify a standalone transaction. In this case, the district expects to generate significant present value savings on a not to exceed $45 million refunding bonds transaction. The term of repayment on the new bonds will not exceed the term of repayment on the bonds to be refunded. The preliminary estimate is $3.1 million in taxpayer savings over the remaining repayment period, and this equates to approximately $2.5 million in present value savings. Staff recommends the approval of resolution number 32.
Thank you. Can I call for a motion?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
First and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Also, can I make a comment about the fact that how transparent we've been with the bonds, and the fact that we received a grade of A from the Senate County Taxpayers Association, which is the highest and the only school district in North County to receive that. So, congratulations.
Appreciate the recognition.
We'll move to 9, policy development. A, approve a revision to board policy 3550, food service child nutrition program.
Thank you. This policy is being updated to reflect new law SB 348, which clarifies that districts are required to make available during each school day and free of charge one nutritionally adequate breakfast and one nutritionally adequate lunch to any student who requests a meal, including a student enrolled in an independent study program, regardless of the student's eligibility for a federally funded free and reduced price meal. It also defines a nutritionally adequate breakfast and lunch and requires that students be provided with adequate time to eat. The policy also is updated to reflect new law 8095, which clarifies that districts may sell a nutritionally adequate meal that qualifies for federal reimbursement to a student after a free meal has been provided.
In addition, the policy was updated to reflect new law SB 114, which establishes school food best practices such as serving freshly prepared on-site meals using minimally processed, locally grown and sustainable food, giving priority to California grown or produced food, and increasing plant-based and restricted diet food options for students. Policy is updated to reflect California Department of Food and Agricultural guidance about school gardens.
Thank you.
Wow.
I'll make a motion to approve. I second. I have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. 9B, approval of revision to board policy 3553, free and reduced price meals.
Thank you. The changes in this policy are similar to those I just read off, so I won't repeat myself. It's being updated to reflect the same new laws SB 348 and AB 95. Additionally, this policy is being updated to clarify that meals served under the school nutrition program meet district adopted guidelines in addition to state and federal nutrition standards.
Thank you. I have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Approval revisions to board policy 6115, ceremonies and observances.
Yes, this board policy was first adopted in 2021 and first introduced in 2011 and last updated in 2021. This acknowledges the importance of having students acknowledge both historical, cultural, and present day significant events and providing them with support and education and recognition of those events. This allows for us to move particular holidays except for Veterans Day, which will need to be celebrated on November 11th. This is update to current law and policy.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve. First and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. At this point, we'll move to public comment on non-agenda items. Just a 10-minute break at this point in time. Put a clock on the screen, please. Thank you. During the portion of meeting agenda entitled Public Comments on Non-Agenda Items, individual speakers will be allowed up to 3 minutes total to address the board on non-agenda items, while the total time per speaker for a given topic may be slightly reduced in certain circumstances. This meeting. However, the total time comments on non-agenda items per board meeting.
Okay, we have a total of 10. The first 3 will be Patricia Mendez, Filiberto Gomez, and Beth Barnum. For Patricia, we will have 6 minutes.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Patricia, es la tercera vez que vengo de la Escuela Libre, hablar sobre el mismo caso, el bullying, no hemos sido escuchados, ustedes dicen que ya hemos llegado a un acuerdo, no hemos llegado a ningún acuerdo, siguen insistiendo con los correos electrónicos que estamos en un acuerdo, mandaron un mediador, muy buena la clase de meditación y relajación, pero no era lo que esperábamos como padres escuchar. Ha habido quienes del distrito se burlan diciendo que estamos exagerando en el caso. No estamos exagerando porque no son sus hijos, son los de nosotros. Yo estoy a veces de voluntaria en el grupo de PTO. Ahora todo, la principal y todos dicen que los problemas todo es culpa de PTO. Cuando usted, señora Raquel, estuvo de presidenta de PTO y usted sabe que PTO no tiene autoridad para mandar ni a maestros ni al staff, así que nosotros no sé por qué dicen que es culpa de uno cuando nosotros estamos peleando por los derechos porque queremos ser escuchados, cosa que no hemos sido. Ya hablamos con el distrito, con el board meeting, ya hicimos una protesta, llamamos la televisora, nos dieron un correo del condado para hacer quejas porque supuestamente no estamos haciendo todo como el protocolo lo dice. La página del condado no funciona, entonces vamos a ver si las quejas van a ir al estado o qué tenemos que hacer para que ustedes nos escuchen.
Patricia Mendez, this is the first time that I'm coming here to speak about Libby, once again to talk about the situation with bullying, that we have not been heard. You have said that we've reached an agreement, but we haven't reached any agreement. You've sent emails about this agreement and sent a mediator to come speak to us, and it was a nice class of meditation and relaxation, but that's not what we were expecting as parents. We don't feel that we were listened to. Some people say that we're exaggerating, but we're not, because these are not your children. I'm a volunteer with the PTO, and not a principal, and others have said that the problems are the fault of the PTO. Ms. Berkeley, you have been a PTO president, and you know that the PTO doesn't have authority to demand that the teachers or staff do anything. So I don't know why they're saying that we're at fault. We're looking for our rights and we want to be heard. We've already come to speak to the district at the board meetings. We organized a protest and asked the TV stations to come. And we were sent an email directing us to a page to put in a complaint to the county, because apparently we're not following the right procedures that we're supposed to. But that county page was not working, so maybe our next step will be to the state if we want to be listened to.
Hello, my name is Filiberto. My son is Emiliano Hernandez. He's a student, he's a third grade student at Libby Elementary. This is the second time that we're here to express our concern as well. Back in October last year, my son, he got stabbed by another kid with the razor, with the eyebrow razor. He was able to move, so it's only like his finger was cut with the razor. We came here to express our concern about the safety at the school. And after that, we did receive an email from Ms. Cuevas to make a meeting with us. And we did meet with her, and we expressed all our concerns. But after that meeting, there was like really anything. We asked her, can you please keep us updated with whatever decision you made to make the school safer, or especially in this case with my son to be in a safe area. But after that, like, we didn't receive anything. She did send an email and asked if we have like another concerns. We told her that we want to see what changes she's making. But apparently, as of right now, we still we haven't received anything. As they mentioned earlier too, we got a mediator and we expressed our concerns. And even after meeting with that mediator, we haven't received anything, or I personally haven't received anything, or what they're working on, or what they found that they're gonna be making changes. My son also, from the same student, he offered my son drugs, and we expressed to the Ms. Cuevas that they're offering drugs to my son, and it was the same student that he tried to stab my son. Maybe they were playing, or I don't know, maybe it wasn't true, but if they already brought a knife or something that could hurt my son, I'm pretty sure there's a possibility that they can bring some drugs. And as of right now, I haven't seen anything that they're making any changes to make the school safer. And it's heartbreaking to hear from other schools that they're becoming a magnet it's heartbreaking that all the resources that are going to that school, and they're like doing anything for Libby Elementary School. They have been even like protesting at the schools, and it seems that I don't know how much the student or the parents we have to do to hear our concerns, and that's why we're here as well. Thank you.
Beth Barnum. I went to that rally at the protest, really, at Libby Lake, and I am embarrassed with Oceanside Unified. Ms. Alvarez, you were there. Jordy, you were there. Maria was there. The principal was there. None of the parents were allowed on school premises. They were only allowed on the sidewalk. None of you came out to speak to the students. The parents. I spoke with a parent who doesn't have a daughter anymore in this school district because she pulled her daughter after she was punched in the face last year at Libby Lake. And the excuse was that it'll be fine, it's kind of prepping her for middle school because it's going to be harsh in middle school. Whereas the child who did it received 0 repercussions. I'd like to know where the equity is. The DEI department is okay with defending the rights of the LGBTQ+, but can't defend the rights of a school that has 90% Hispanic students. Seriously, I grew up in Oceanside. This is disgusting. I go to open houses to see, it's fun, and I look at the schools that are put on the flyers, and I'm like, do not send your kids to Oceanside Unified School District. Pull them, homeschool them, or even go to Vista. It's better. I am seriously disgusted. You have 0 moral compass. None. These people have come to numerous school board meetings. It is difficult. And then you move the meeting from 6 o'clock to 5 o'clock. You do not want to see the parents. You take, Eleanor, you missed a great meeting at the Republican Women of Oceanside, California. You did. They were talking about protect California rights for kids. I was speaking to some of them that they said, no, we'll listen to the meeting on Zoom because KOCT Zooms it. I said, oh no, they voted not to stream it any longer. And the only place that you can put a video recording device is in that corner. You can't walk up to the podium anymore. So please, stop lying to these parents. You don't want to negotiate with them. You've closed Reynolds and you put them all at Libby Lake and it's only caused problems. You can fix this. The board members, you are in charge of the superintendent. You can fire her. It says so on your website, under the school board, the Board of Education. You have the power. She is not your boss. Come back and say sorry to these parents and fix this problem.
Allison Manu, and Susan Custer. Allison.
Good evening, Board and Dr. Vitale. To Nancy Licona, my district board member, I hope you are paying close attention to what bad leadership looks like. On March 10th, 2020, Dr. Vitale and OUSD board members voted to lock our kids out of their classrooms and sent them to Zoom school, and continued that closure for almost a year and a half. Being one of the longest school closures in North San Diego County, meanwhile students were in-person learning in our neighboring cities like Vista Unified. Those closures have put our students far behind in academics with continued absenteeism. I am reminding you of these sad times to bring you to the following. On a recent PRA on Dr. Vitale's district credit cards, we see that she did not seem to mind swiping her district credit card to dine around town during that time. As a tax-paying citizen in Oceanside and mother of 2 students in the slap in the face. I can say this because I was one of the many frustrated and disappointed parents holding rallies and news interviews during this time to reopen our schools. It still cuts deep. Our superintendent, Dr. Vitale, makes well over $350,000 in benefits and has the audacity to spend public funds like it's nobody's business and like it's her own personal credit card. For instance, on March 13th, 2020, she decided to swipe for $74.25 Tony Pepperoni Pizza. March 18th, 2020, $97.68 Cheesecake Factory. And on July 16th, 2020, $140 at Aquaterra at Paula Mesa. On July 16th, 2020, $183 Aquaterra at Paula Mesa. But on July 17th, she did the same, some more at Aquaterra. But there's a staggering one with August 5th, 2020, a whopping $771, again at Paula Mesa Resort. It seems enjoying that resort life during COVID lockdown. Dr. Vitale and board members, it is a shame that you are allowing the type of mismanagement on public funds. Funds we could be using to support our students in dire need of a better education and support for our teachers and staff. Tonight we present this to you as concerned parents and stakeholders. Dr. Vitale, you continue to show inept leadership in our district. You need to step down, and for our students and families deserve better in this district. Thank you.
Good evening. I would like to speak on some more of Dr. Vitale's expenses on her credit card. There's an exorbitant amount, an unusual amount, going to all the LGBTQ organizations. Gifting to one particular organization an amount approximately equal to the other 8 or 9 local organizations combined shows a distinct and clear prejudice. Curiously, in 2028, gifts amounting to $2,358 went to an LGBT center in Charlottesville, Virginia. How are those helping our kids? That's 3,000 miles away. I really would like to know, are these donations, or why is this money being spent this way? Is it a donation? I think as taxpayers, we have the right to know the reason public funds are being used this way. I'd like to mention a few others. So, to these organizations in 2019, $2,600 was spent. Nothing was spent during COVID in 2020. In 2021, $895 was spent. In 2022, $1,278 was spent. And some of these North County here in Oceanside. But of course, the worst and least, the hardest to understand is what was going on in Charlottesville. Again, in 2023, for a total of $2,358. So throughout all these years, $7,131 was spent. It would seem to me that some of this money could have been used for the children at Ivy Ranch to give them the privacy fence that they would like. To make the parents feel more comfortable. We understand all these security cameras, but apparently the parents would like some security fences for their children. And also, I know there are anti-bullying programs. Why isn't that being taught at Libby Elementary? So again, we'd like to know if these are donations and why the board is approving these expenses. It's public funds. Then let's see if I have any other notes here. Just that I hope you'll get back to us on this so that to save us the money of having to hire an attorney and you the inconvenience of having to answer the questions. Thank you.
Patty Kane, Michael Richardson, Graham Fraser.
Thank you and good
evening to everyone on the dais. Continuing that theme, I have some questions of the board because the board did approve all these expenses that you're just hearing about. My column is on hotels, and I tried to link it with the board-approved meetings and conference schedule that we were given in addition to the credit card expenses. However, I have difficulty on a lot of the hotels relating any conferences, at least on the official record. In 2019, there was a Holiday Inn Express in Philadelphia for several days, but there was no conference noted. There was in 2019 Embassy Suite in Temecula, no conference noted. There was a Pendry Hotel twice in San Diego, no conference noted. And there was a DoubleTree in Orange County in that year, no conference noted. A conference would explain things, but board, you did approve these. In 2020, there were 3 Pendry Hotel expenses with no conference noted. That's in San Diego, by the way, and there's a limit, mileage limit that you are awarded an overnight stay, but I think San Diego, most of us come back the same night. There was Hyatt Indian Wells for $876, no conference noted. In 2021, the Pendry Hotel again in San Diego for $1,150, no conference noted. In 2022, no conference noted for Omni Hotel in Nashville, $321. There was an Omni Nashville conference. However, the dates are different than the hotel stay. There was Westgate in San Diego, no conference. Marriott in Pendry Hotel 2 other times in 2022, no conference noted. Pala Mesa, no conference noted. San Diego Mission Bay, no conference noted. And San Diego Hyatt, no conference noted. In 2023, these are all approved by you, board, so I guess the question is to you, you might know the reasons. We would like to know. There's a 2023 Town and Country San Diego, no conference noted. Embassy Suites San Diego, no conference noted. Excuse me, Embassy Suites in San Luis Obispo. I didn't know we traveled up there for a conference, but there's none noted. Hotel Indigo in Vancouver, no conference noted. Lake Arrowhead Resort, no conference noted for 1, 2, 3, 4. I finished my sentence. 5, 6 rooms individual.
Testing. Oh, well, I can talk loud.
No, we want to hear the mic. We can't hear back here.
Thank you. That's not working. You broke it. Testing. Hello.
I think they're all in
Hello.
You need it, Mike.
This is a different mic. What's wrong?
They all blew out. They all blew out.
I blew them out.
You blew them out. Yeah, you did. We did. We turned it off. the on button needs to go on that one.
Yes, that one works. Okie dokie. Oh, wait a minute, start over. Okie dokie. You know, when a parent drops off his pride and joy at school, he or she demonstrates a gigantic amount of trust in the school, that the school will keep their child safe and nourish and educate them. That trust happens only when the school staff and teachers continuously prove that they can be trusted. When the board, that's you, gives the superintendent a district credit card, they are trusting that she will use it for the benefit of the schools and not for her own benefit. Obviously, there must be a huge trust from the top down. Trust that must be earned every day with every purchase. So when the superintendent spends money with a district credit card, she has a duty to earn this trust with each transaction and go overboard with fairness and transparency. Otherwise, there is doubt and erosion of that trust, an erosion of trust that plunges all through the district and all the way down to the teachers and the kids. As has been already said, we obtained the statements for Julie's district credit card for the last 5 years. And they show a blatant disregard. And how come? Disregard for the trust, for this trust, the trust with hundreds of, they show a blatant disregard for this trust with hundreds of purchases from Amazon, Staples, Walgreens, Target, and many more for thousands and thousands of dollars. Some of them, several on the same day. And then they fail to explain why a credit card was used instead of a routine purchase order. Was it because it would be buried in the statements and never discovered in an audit like a purchase order surely would? Have you seen any details? The board, have you seen any details of these purchases? Why not? Why haven't you questioned them? If you're interested, we can show them to you and show you how this apparent abuse has been perpetrated on us. It's obvious that this superintendent has no moral compass, no integrity, and displays a blatant disregard for the trust that we have all placed in her. She must be removed.
Graham, thanks for listening to me tonight. I appreciate the opportunity to express my civic duty here to admonish you board members. I try not to be a bully, but I'm very, very disgusted with the behaviour of you, Mike, and the rest of you, allowing this behaviour to go on and on and on, year after year. A total of $110,000 has been spent on Dr. Vasali's credit card that you authorised her to use, and you must authorise that every month. So how you can, in good conscience, approve it going on, or maybe you just didn't approve it because you weren't paying attention. Who knows? But either way, you're guilty. And I'm pretty disgusted about that.
Unilaterally.
Pardon?
Unilaterally.
Unilaterally. What do you mean by that, Mike? Who's guilty? We're guilty of voting for you people. That's what we're guilty of. I was quite taken tonight with, I was going to talk a lot more about that, and some of the other folks here spoke, I think, quite eloquently about the misdeeds of Vasali. A parent speaks, let me say that. I'm interested in a good response rebuttal, Dr. Vitale, and to defend yourself, and you need to do that, because the community is not happy with the way you're administering or the way you're spending public money. I also was quite taken by the Oceanside Unified School District graduate on the board earlier, that the 5 characteristics that the goal is to produce students out of here that have a multicultural communication skills, responsible digital citizen, positive self-identity and agency, like all of that, equitable global change agent, and love it, adaptable and future-ready adult. Love it all. Nothing wrong with any of that, except there's nothing there about academics. And without academics, none of that is possible. And here's the point. You actually produced this document here, which I thought was rather vague, because it says, district smarter balanced test scores. Okay. I don't know what's balanced about it, because they're not getting any better. There's nothing, is that what you mean by balanced? They're the same year after year after year. That's balanced. Smarter? What makes them smarter that you're not getting better? In fact, many of the schools are falling behind year after year. So what was the point of this?
Thank you.
What a contrast, what a...
Emily Richmond.
Continuing with the superintendent's credit card, which is a loan grant that mentioned about $110,000 in the past 5 years. And one of these years was COVID years where not one child attended school. In the big scheme of things, is this much for $1 million worth of budget in our school district? Not really, but when you think of it, could be at least 647 trips transporting homeless students to and from their family schools. How about trips for our SPED children that many times have been turned down for transportation? How about tutors? How many tutors would that buy for our kids that really need that extra help? That's the difference between learning the basics and failing in life. How much would this money be for new teachers who need that assistance for their materials and for their classrooms and their students? How about the field trips? The many that have been canceled because the schools did not get their money. How many would that be? I mean, the list can go on and on what that money would be for. And so you as a school board member, I understand you ratify that. Do you even look at that? Again, my interest is peaking because 4 credit card charges 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and now there's 84. And it continues every single month. There's going to be a time, of course, when the funding comes up and it's going to be very much heartaches for the people that you hired, the mid people that are using those $6,000 worth of gas to go all over the district. So again, how is this credit card spending? How does it impact our students' achievement? How about our academic performance? The principals did a fantastic job on our magnet schools. They're going to do this, they're going to be that. And not one time did I hear, maybe I missed it, but their academic success. Hussot lost 4.21% in math. The Nichols lost 6.89 in math and 6.2% in English. Again, they're losing. And here you talk about the great enrichment that they have, which they will. But that needs to be connected with academics. What are they doing? Pablo Talk, I love that school. I love all that the kids and the teachers put into that. But only 29% are in grade level in English and 22% in math. I mean, that's a shame. We should be hanging our heads. We really should. So this is just part of what I see in the fiscal management of our district, starting with the top, starting with the superintendent, and starting with everything that goes with the spending of money at the restaurants all over town, to different organizations, to Amazon purchases. You know, it could be good. I know that some of the hotels, there are or to the Arlington team. Thank you. I'm going to speak to this board because you were just given a lot of misinformation. The public records request that they're referring to, you all got a complete copy of that, of every credit card expenditure that I've made ever since I've been in this district. And you will need to help me because I will forget some things. I am on a national board. We have the American Association of School Superintendents, and I am on that national board. Every bit of travel that I did for that organization while I was on the board was reimbursed by AASA, and Ann tracks every single expenditure that I make and ensures that that money is reimbursed. I'm also on our state association board, the Association of California School Administrators, ACSA. I've been on that board for 3 years, and all of my travel associated with that board has been reimbursed, and Ann tracks all of those reimbursements. I'm also a part of the Educational Research and Design Institute, which requires national travel. That travel is also reimbursed or paid for by that organization. The expenditures at Target, Amazon, Staples, those are not expenditures that I make. Ann Gibbons also uses the superintendent's credit card when she purchases things online. We purchase books from Amazon, books that we read professionally, etc., etc. For every flight and every conference or every hotel stay, there is an associated conference with documented paperwork that we are required to submit to our fiscal services department, along with receipts for every expenditure and a documented reason why that money was spent. We have been through, I think, 5 or 6 audits since I've been here. All of our audits are clean. There have been no misuse of credit cards by myself or anyone else. And we've had a positive budget now that Dr. Norman's been in place for the last 3 years. So that is the facts of the superintendent's credit card and every credit card in this district.
Since you're speaking, can you speak about the assault at Libby? Exactly. About the assault at Libby. If you can defend yourself with your credit card, you can talk to the parents from Libby Elementary.
At this point in time, we will now adjourn this meeting at 7:59. Thank you.